In front of the white stone wall, Feng Tiandu closed his eyes while making a hand seal, and all of the chains in the air around him shuddered in unison, then shot forth through the air as countless black lines, hurtling toward the white light barrier like rain. A string of loud thumps instantly rang out in rapid succession as specks of black light emerged over the surface of the white light barrier, causing it to ripple incessantly. At this point, all of the other cultivators present had also sprung into action, launching attacks of their own at the light barrier. With so many true immortals and golden immortals joining forces at once, the resulting assault was just as ferocious as it was spectacular to behold, and the white light barrier twisted and warped violently as countless runes surged out of its surface. All of a sudden, an earth-shattering boom rang out, and the entire canyon suddenly began to tremble and sway violently. Countless large cracks appeared over the ground and the mountain faces, intertwining with one another like a system of cobwebs. In the face of so many formidable attacks, the light barrier was struggling to hold itself together, and a series of cracks had begun to appear on its surface. This was naturally a very encouraging sight for everyone, and they all redoubled their efforts for one final push. Finally, all of the runes on the surface of the white light barrier exploded, immediately followed by the light barrier itself, and the white stone face beneath it was finally exposed. Feng Tiandu's eyes sprang open, and a hint of elation appeared on his face. He made a hand seal while chanting a quiet incantation, and all of the black chains around him instantly vanished back into his body, immediately following which he took a large stride forward. Yet, right as he was about to say something, an unexpected turn of events abruptly unfolded. Xianxia and 3 other golden immortals near him lashed out in unison, raising their arms at the same time without any warning. A chorus of loud clangs rang out as bright golden light emerged within the sleeves of the 4 golden immortals, and 4 golden chains, with countless runes surging all over them, shot forth in unison before wrapping themselves around Feng Tiandu's limbs. Each chain was radiating bright golden light that was filled with golden runes, and they were also releasing formidable restrictive law powers. Feng Tiandu's expression changed drastically as a layer of black light abruptly appeared over his body, instantly forming a protective black light barrier. Almost in the exact same instant that the black light barrier took shape, the 4 golden chains arrived and wound themselves around the light barrier. As soon as the 2 made contact with one another, the golden runes on the surface of the chains instantly lit up in unison. And they were able to slice through the black light barrier with ease, like hot knives through butter, before tying up Feng Tiandu like lightning. Arcs of golden lightning erupted out of the 4 chains to strike Feng Tiandu, causing plumes of white smoke to rise up from his body. Feng Tiandu let loose a muffled groan, and the black light barrier around him was instantly shattered, much to the elation of the 4 Dawnfall sect golden immortals, who began chanting a collective incantation, upon which the 4 golden chains intertwined to form a square golden cage with Feng Tiandu trapped in the center. A burst of incredibly formidable restrictive force surged out of the golden cage, causing the nearby air to ripple violently. And even the surrounding world's origin chi had fallen completely still. All of this had taken place in the blink of an eye, and everyone was caught completely off guard, looking on with dazed expressions, even temporarily forgetting about the white stone wall. Han Li was also rather taken aback as he looked on from afar. Looking at the 4 golden chains, he was immediately reminded of the 8 chains that Ouyang Kuishan and the other Dao lords had used against Bai Liyan all those years ago. Even though there were only 4 of these chains on this occasion, they were several times thicker than the 8 chains from last time. And the aura emanating from this golden cage was also more formidable than that one. What is the meaning of this? Feng Tiandu roared as he struggled with all his might, and a layer of black light appeared over his body, only to be instantly suppressed by the enormous restrictive powers of the golden cage, rendering his tremendous cultivation base completely useless. My apologies, Senior Marshal Brother, but you've brought this entirely upon yourself, so you can't blame anyone else. Our master passed the position of sect master down to me, Yet you've shown me no respect at all, forcibly taking over ownership of the sect and claiming all of its resources. You've gone too far, and it's time that someone stopped you, Xianxia declared in a cold voice while making a hand seal. And more thick arcs of golden lightning emerged over the golden cage before transforming into 7 thick golden nails. Each nail was around a foot in length with countless golden lightning runes on their surface, and they were giving off astonishing lightning law power fluctuations as they pierced viciously into Feng Tiandu's glabella, chest, lower abdomen, and other vital regions. Feng Tiandu gave another muffled groan as blood began to trickle down from the corner of his lips. Arcs of golden lightning surged out of the 7 golden nails before rapidly flowing over Feng Tiandu's body while crackling incessantly. A series of gashes instantly appeared over his skin, and blood came pouring out of those gashes as his aura diminished significantly. Feng Tiandu's eyes narrowed slightly as he gave an enraged harumph, and his hands balled up into tight fists as began to chant a rapid incantation. A burst of black light instantly emerged over his body, and his entire body turned black, while strings of black runes surged out of the spots on his body that had been impaled by Tay golden nails. At the same time, a burst of rustling rang out within Shy body, and the 7 chains shuddered before slowly pulling back, as if they were being forced out by something. Qi Tianxiao's expression changed slightly upon seeing this, yet before he had a chance to do anything, around a dozen black chains shot out of Feng Tiandu's body before wrapping themselves around the surrounding golden cage. Inky black light emerged from the black chains, quickly staining the golden cage black, while the golden chains around Feng Tiandu began to rapidly dim while also displaying signs of loosening. Qi Tianxia was greatly alarmed to see this, and he hurriedly attempted to bolster the golden chains, but to no avail. In the blink of an eye, half of the golden cage had already been stained black. Right at this moment, a white figure emerged behind Feng Tiandu without any warning, and it was none other than Xiao Jinhan. With a flick of his wrist, a white shadow flew out of his sleeve, piercing directly toward Feng Tiandu's throat like lightning. It was a translucent longsword that was giving off tremendous glacial qi, and Qi Tianxiao and the others merely continued with what they were doing, displaying no reaction to Xiao Jinhan's sudden intervention. Feng Tiandu's pupils contracted slightly as he opened his mouth to release a streak of yellow light, which revealed itself to be a shield in the shape of a yellow turtle shell. The shield was riddled with profound patterns, and judging from the formidable earth law power fluctuations that it was giving off, this was clearly a powerful immortal treasure. The yellow shield instantly swelled to several times its original size as it positioned itself in front of him, and the white longsword struck the yellow shield with a resounding clang. The latter was forced back from the force of the clash, but it was ultimately able to keep the longsword at bay. Qi Tianxiao! How dare you collude with Xiao Jinhan? Feng Tiandu roared in a furious voice. In the distant cave, Hanli continued to look on in silence, but a cold look had appeared in his eyes as he gazed upon Xiao Jinhan. It was clear that he had employed the same tactics that he had used to bring down the Blaze Dragon Dao to sow dissension among the Dawnfall sect's cultivators as well. If Feng Tiandu were to also be eliminated, then the vast Flow Palace would be the only one that remained of the northern glacial immortal region's 3 premier sects. It would be completely powerless to oppose the northern glacial immortal palace on its own, and before long, the entire immortal region would fall under the immortal palace's control. Jintong had been roused from her nap by the commotion, and she rushed over to Hanli's side as she clapped her hands together with an excited expression and yelled, "They really have begun fighting! You were right, Uncle. Do we strike now?" "Let's wait for a bit longer. The best is still yet to come," Hanli said. In the distance, the expressions of the Southern Dawn beings changed slightly at the sight of the scene unfolding before them, as was the case with Taoist Huyan and Yun Ni. However, before they could do anything, Ouyang Kuishan's trio abruptly appeared before them, standing in their way. Ouyang Kuishan cast his gaze toward the Southern Dawn beings and Taoist Huyan's duo as he declared in a threatening tone, "This has nothing to do with any of you. fellow Taoists, so please do not intervene." Taoist Huyan and the others exchanged a few glances upon hearing this, and they decided to oblige. Xiao Jinhan was rather relieved to see this out of the corner of his eye, and he made a hand seal, upon which a burst of white mist with countless runes dancing within it erupted out of his white longsword before enveloping the yellow shield in a flash. Bright yellow light flashed from the yellow shield, and it was just about to release something, only for a burst of law power fluctuations to surge out of the cloud of white mist to slow down the release of the yellow light. Immediately thereafter, a millstone-sized chunk of white ice emerged, presenting quite a spectacular sight to behold. The yellow shield was completely encased within the block of ice, and all of the law power fluctuations it was releasing had been sealed away. The block of ice then fell to the ground with a loud crack, while Han Li looked on from afar with a hint of admiration in his eyes. To think that his laws of ice have been cultivated to such a degree that they're capable of even freezing other law powers, as expected of the master of the Northern Glacial Immortal Palace.